All right. All right, guys, welcome to tonight's call. I'm super excited to have Ashley Watts do this team call. The first time I met Ashley was actually at Super Saturday, this past Super Saturday in September. And then I had the huge privilege to go to Mexico with her just in October. So I got to get to know her more on that level too, which was super exciting because we got to zip line through Mexico together. And I think me and her were like mostly terrified of doing all of that. But I was mostly terrified of going down this straight water slide. But we both did it, and it was awesome. And we overcame fears, and we got sunburned together, and we had an amazing time. But I just loved Ashley, and I just loved how vulnerable she became in the trip too, and just getting to know her more on a one-on-one level, because you always see coaches posting, but really like you don't know their backside and their backstory. And so just hearing her backside and where she's come from was just super inspiring to me. So a little bit about Ashley. She is married. She has 2 little boys that are super adorable. She is a 2-star lifetime diamond coach. She is a Success Club 5 legend, 46 straight months, and a Success Club 10 legend, 32 straight months. She's also a 2015 Premier Coach. So she has some awesome stats and amazing things to know about her. But Ashley, you can go ahead and take it away, girl. I'm excited to hear from you.
Well, hello. And I am sorry. I usually kind of get at least halfway dressed up for these things, but it has been one of those days at my house. So I, like probably most of you, am a mom, and let's be honest, that's like the least of my worries some days. So, thanks. My husband just brought me my notes, which I probably need. So I'm just going to kind of jump right in. I love this topic, and it's on the resolution effect and what your business can do come January, February, March. As you put in the time and the effort right now, when I know you don't want to. I know that this is a crazy busy time. It doesn't ever let down from now until the end of the year. I know this is the hardest time you're going to get the most objections over the next November and December. But with those objections comes major success come January, February, March, and April, because what's on everyone's mind come January? Health and fitness. And honestly, I think December gets a little bit easier than even November, because people all of a sudden are like, oh shoot, January 1st is coming. I need to get going. So really, you're in the toughest week of, I think, the entire business. So if you can push down the throttle right now, your business is going to explode come January. If you put forth the effort, if you have a plan, if you use everything to your advantage that's available to you at your fingertips, like right now. So I'm going to actually share my screen. I have a little, and you're going to see I am like someone who has 5,000 windows open 24/7. So it was just funny because I'm a very like OCD person. So yes. So usually I have to watch this presentation. I'm not going to lie. I did it last year. So it's the same slides, and I haven't updated my numbers come this year only because I honestly didn't have time. But I saw the resolution effect. This is my year, January come my year 4 of coaching. So I was someone who just dived right in. I actually started coaching January 1st, and that was like my very first paycheck was the very first week of January 4 years ago. And so I kind of started right with you guys, and I just took off the gate. I was in a situation, and I'll be honest, like with my business, it was do or die. I bought my first challenge pack in October, and I was living with my parents. With my husband and I were living with my parents. We were super broke. I used to teach first grade. I taught for 5 years, and we wanted a family, and the family thing just doesn't come easy for us. We've had 7 miscarriages and we have 2 kids now. So I just, and not that there's anything wrong with a working mom. I did it for a couple years, but it's not where my heart wanted to be. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Ever since I was a little girl, our culture, everything that we do, like, is about family. And so that's as a little girl, that's all I want to do. You grow up and you become a mom. And so I felt so guilty. And so we made the sacrifice of an income. I put my husband through school. And my husband couldn't find a job. It was, right when everything crashed and the economy took a plummet and it was just crappy. And I was at my lowest point ever in my life after, I was like a size 5, and I'll talk about this a little bit here in a second. I was like a size 5 when we got married, and, we started having kids 2 years into marriage. We're trying to have kids about 2 years into our marriage, and that's when we started failing at it. And I started eating like crazy, covering up everything just through eating. And before I knew it, I was like a size 16, 18. So totally came out of nowhere. Well, it did come out of somewhere, but like that's who I am. And that's kind of my background story to this. With that said, I never ever thought I'd be coaching. Like I said, I taught first grade. I bought my challenge pack. We were super poor. I actually put it on our credit card and had the trust. And then my coach approached me. We were at a point in our life that it was like I either went back to the classroom and taught, or I got like a nighttime job. I used to work at a place called Hoagie Yogi. It's like a sandwich shop. And so I could go back and make sandwiches. I knew how to make sandwiches really good. Go work at Subway or something. Or I could make this business work. And I'll tell you, because I had my back up against the wall, it made me work my business. And I have never not hit Success Club 5 since. It'll be 4 years if it continues. Since day one, I've hit Success Club 5. And then the second year of my business, I realized that it was really literally a mind shift. It was 2 more people to hit Success Club 10. And that's when it like changed my mind. And since the second year of my business, I hit Success Club 10 from then on. That I don't know why I didn't put it together, that it was literally 2 people, but that's it. That's all it took was like, 2 people is like the difference between those 2. And then looking at like my coach's income and her income, like I was like, they're hitting Success Club 10 and they're making this much money. That's what I need to do. And that's all I knew. And so, that is kind of my story and how I got going, and we'll kind of talk about this. But tonight, I kind of want to show you what's possible with the resolution effect. And but before I start, I am going to show you some of my numbers, and I hate showing income because people instantly look at it and they say, "Oh, she's there in the mirror," or maybe you're someone who jumped out even faster than I am, because people can do that, and they're like, "Oh, what? That's." Like she's saying that she like did that. So with that preface, it's just one of those things I don't really like sharing, but I think it's essential for you guys to see that I'm a normal person with normal problems, normal everything, and I've made this business work for me and our family. So before that, even though, I want you guys to think about a couple things. And I'm kind of going out of order a little bit here, and that's okay. It's no big deal. But I want you to like literally think these through, because as a business owner, as a coach, you are not an employee. And that's where you have to really understand the difference of you are an entrepreneur. You invested the $39.95, which is nothing, to become an entrepreneur. And it was free if you literally bought a challenge pack, right? Like completely waived. So I'm going to ask you 10, or I'm going to, list 10 different things. And I want you to think, and really, if you have a paper or pencil, write it down. Are you an employee? And do you have an employee mindset right now? Or do you have the entrepreneur mindset? Because some of these questions, you might think, oh, shoot, I am an employee right there. And other ones, you might say, oh, I'm doing okay. I'm an entrepreneur here. So where can you, like in your own personal business and your mindset, change to make sure that you are a full entrepreneur and you get out of the employee mindset? Because most of us have probably had jobs where we're an employee, right? Like we worked for someone else. And so that's what we're used to. We're not used to being, at least I'm not used to being an entrepreneur. This is new to me. So I'm going to go through 10 things real fast. I want you to kind of list, are you an employee or are you the entrepreneur? So an employee earns income working hours, okay? So they earn their income because they go to work and they make money. An entrepreneur earns income while they're working, while they're on maternity leave, while they're on vacation, while they're on a trip to Mexico with their other Beachbody friends. That's the difference. An employee is making money doing, working their hours, and an entrepreneur is making money while they sleep, while they're on maternity leave, but it's not easy, okay? Number 2, an employee has a fixed and safe income. And this might be your spouse that you're relying on, and it's a good income, so it's no big deal. And this is a side hobby for you. But I'm assuming, since you're listening to a call right now, that you want more out of it, that you are wanting to build more, even if you have a secure income because of a spouse or significant other that you're living with or whatever it is. But an entrepreneur has unlimited income opportunities. Unlimited. There's no cap. You're not maxed out at $32,000 a year. You're not maxed out at $100,000 a year, whatever it is. An employee finds a job. Okay? Entrepreneur provides jobs. And that's what we get to do as coaches. We get to provide multiple opportunities for people to not only change their life, but to provide income for other people. An employee works a 9-to-5 job, or as you're looking at the coach life, you work a 2 to 3 job. You work from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock or whatever it is. Employee has passion. They invest. They work hard, and they are patient. They also have a no matter what list. So they don't just work from 2 to 3, but maybe they have a challenge group starting this next week, and they've got to get everything set up for it. Okay, so they have to put in the extra hours that day. So when vacation comes, you can sit back and relax on vacation. Or when you're in Mexico, you're not sitting on your phone, whatever it is, trying to hit Success Club at the last minute. We've all been there the last day of the month. The next one, an employee gets, if they're lucky and have a good job, a 2-week, 3-week, whatever paid vacation. That's what an employee does. An entrepreneur works hard so they can have a flexible schedule. An employee stays in their comfort zone. They go in, they know their job, they do it well, they clock in, they clock out, and they hopefully put their best foot forward, but they're comfortable with their job. An entrepreneur takes steps, sometimes leaps outside the box. An employee tends to whine and complain. As a teacher, I would whine and complain about laws that were being passed that were out of my control, that, I have this child in my classroom that I have to get to grade level even though she has no home. That's what employees do. An entrepreneur has hard times and there's problems, but they take ownership and find solutions. They don't sit there. We probably all have the 1 or 2 people you've seen on a page. Maybe it's your PS page, maybe it's Team Forward Fitness page, that are always complaining. It doesn't matter what comes at them, they're always complaining. But you'll never see Brigida pose a problem and not have a solution on her page. Why? She's a full entrepreneur. She's a leader. So where are you in that? Are you complaining that you're not hitting Success Club and that volume's down and that's the company's fault? Or are you taking ownership and realizing how you can create volume to increase your own income on your team? An employee expects a pay raise. They paid their dues. They've been there 3 years. They go to their job and they demand a raise. And not even necessarily with increased production, right? They may not work hard. They just deserve it because they've been there 3 years. That's an employee mindset. An entrepreneur knows what's possible and they work to make it happen. And you'll notice the key word here a lot of time is the word work. Okay? An employee tends to do the bare minimum. Maybe they see a piece of trash on the floor. Anyone who's familiar with like In-N-Out, they have different levels that you get to start out level 1, level 2, level 3, whatever it is. But a level 1 has to do trash duty. But once you upgrade, you don't have to go out and like do other responsibilities. That's an employee. They don't bend over and pick up the trash. As an entrepreneur, you not only bend over and pick up the trash, you love the person that left the trash. You lead, you inspire, you uplift. You do whatever it takes at the end of the day to make sure that you're leading a team with love, that you're inspiring others, that you're putting your best foot forward, that your business is clean. And then the last one is when there's a problem, an employee tends to just shrug. Oh, well, I'm off in 10 minutes. No big deal. Where, an entrepreneur has that they go full force and they have the no matter what list. No matter what, I've got to achieve Success Club. No matter what, I've got to, get my challenge group posted. That to do that no matter what mindset. And I'm going to tell you, and the reason why we went through this list is there's a huge difference in income with an employee and an entrepreneur. Okay, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about a little bit here. So I want to show you kind of my resolution effect and how it took place in my business. So this is my very, very first year of coaching. Now this was obviously October, so this is 10 months into my business. This was my paycheck, $652.49. And I will tell you, I was not a leader my first year of my business. I just knew I had to hit Success Club. I didn't really care, I would say, about building a team per se. I just knew I had to hit Success Club. And it wasn't until like year 2 or 3 that I realized that I needed to be a leader to make it grow more. And I don't have my Success Club numbers because when I did this, I couldn't pull them. You can only pull them from a year back. And so I don't know. I know I hit Success Club 5 or 10 those months because I've always hit Success Club. But this was my paycheck, October 2014. Okay. In November, it dipped. Okay. And in December, it went up a little bit. Okay. This is what happens. Okay, in January, I got my very first, took a whole year of my business to hit that $1,000 paycheck for the week. So it was my month. And so here I was, 1,072. You'll see it increased more. And by December or March, I went from 672 3 months ago to 1,371. So this is 184% increase in 3 months. I gave myself a raise, 184% increase in 3 months because of the resolution effect taking place in my business. Now, it's not going to come without work. And I want you to realize that it just doesn't happen by luck or chance. I hit Success Club October, November, and December. I hit Success Club again come January, February, and March. Okay. This was last year, 2015-16. Again, I didn't pull my numbers. Again, I should have. But here I am. Okay, 2 years in the business. This was my monthly paycheck. Okay, I hit Success Club 15 this month in October. In November, I hit Success Club 11, and then December, I hit Success Club 10. Okay, you can see I went from 2,000, and then I went to 1,700, and then I went to 1,400. Now, if I was an employee who went and saw a decrease in my paycheck, what's the first thing I'm going to do? I'm going to complain. It's the company's fault that they didn't produce an amazing program to release in October so I hit bigger numbers and more people wanted it. That's what I would do as an employee, right? But as an entrepreneur, I showed up, I hit Success Club, and I pushed full throttle. And look what happened. January, I'm back up to where I was in October and a little bit more. February, okay, I'm up to 2,900, and March, I'm up to 5,400. Okay, so right here, I gave myself a 266% increase over 3 months. Now, I could have taken this and I could have complained, or I moved forward and say, I'm still showing up, I'm still doing my invites, I'm still getting told no hundreds of times, but I'm not giving up. So this is what's possible with your business to allow the resolution effect to take place. And we'll jump kind of back and forth here. And So my husband manages this place called Griffles. He you can go and donate plasma and stuff, and he does the management side of it. So I'm just going to take 2 jobs so you can kind of see the difference. Now, this is a true story. I should probably make this bigger because I hate being on presentations in case you have questions and everything else. I don't know why it's getting smaller. That's awesome. Okay, so I taught for 5 years in the state of Idaho as a teacher. I had a bachelor's degree. I invested thousands of dollars, went in debt to get my education. And, you know, I needed to pay off first the debt, and I needed to pay our mortgage and baby bills and everything else in between, right? So just an example, my first year teaching, okay, I made a whopping $32,700 with a professional degree. Now it kind of goes up, and I want you to see I can work. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, 16. I wrote it here for us. So I can work 16 years right here, and by the end of my 16 years, I would go up to a whopping $55,000. Okay, which is a good raise, but it took me 16 years to get there. Okay, I can tell you by my second year of teaching, I was making this. By my third year, I was not only making this, I was doubling and tripling this income. Okay, in 3 years, I could work 16 years and not even double it. Okay, this is a professional job. Now, my husband, he's salary, but all his employees and everything are hourly, and they make $10 is really what they start at. They make $10 to $10.40 for, you know, that year. In 1 year, they get a 4% increase, but most of their employees max out around the $14 mark, unless they're like the paramedics, all of them, they make a little bit more. So in 3 years, they've met their cap. So every time they go to my husband and say, hey, I worked 3 years, I demand a raise, his solution's always, well, fix your problem. Go to school, go do something, because you're maxed out. Like, everything's in your hands, but I'm tied. This is what the company says, I can pay you. And so in 3 years, you can do that. And again, here's 3 months worth as a coach, 104%. The next year, 266% in 3 months. So the decision is completely in your hands, but it's what you're going to do with it. So how are you going to make the resolution take effect in your business? And we're just kind of going to zoom through this now. You reap what you sow. So when you plant a seed, when you're talking about 80-day obsession, when you're talking about Shakeology, okay, all these things that you're reaping, most of the time, I was one, those people are going to tell you no, right? I told my coach no so many times. I'm sure you probably told your coach no several times. But you're starting to plant these seeds. And, you know, in October, and when Halloween was going on, you all saw the Christmas decorations pull out, right? You saw them in the store. You started getting the catalogs. The Toys R Us catalog came, you know, late October at our house. You know, they don't do this because it's convenient. They do it because it's a marketing plan. They have it. When you're walking around Target, having that time to spare, you're on date night, whatever it is, and you're walking through and you see that beautiful Christmas tree, what are you going to think of come November, 25th, whatever, the day after Thanksgiving, when you're allowed to like legally put up Christmas stuff, okay? When you're allowed to, Target's going to be the first thing you think about with that beautiful tree that's all decorated, or the one ornament you want, or the one Christmas present that your son has circled over and over and over again in that magazine and put the sticker on and folded the pages down. That's what's going to be on your mind. It's the same thing right now. As you're talking about 80-day obsession, as you're talking about double time, as you're talking about these Shakeology and these programs and everything else, when January 1st rolls around, they're going to remember that Crystal said something about an 80-day crazy group with this crazy trainer, and they're doing it live or something like that. That's what's going to pop in their head. The ones that planted the seed 75 days ago to 90 days ago, that's now. That's making sure when you hit Success Club in February, that's the work you're doing this month. That's not the work you did in February. that's the follow throughs in February, and, checking back in. But it started way back in November. And so remember that. True story, look behind me. You can see that we have decorated for Christmas at our house. This ploy worked. Target's ploy worked for Christmas at our house. Our Christmas trees are up. My lights are turned on outside right now. Like, we are set. And so there's going to be those early birds as well, those ones who just can't wait to get those things. And I'm mad because I went to Walmart today to pick up a sign and they're out. They're sold out. So I'm not the only one who saw the sign 2 weeks ago and they beat me to it and picked it up. So remember, you reap what you sow, and you're reaping right now. So what does it take? And I'll say it takes your why. Right now it's your enthusiasm and your why. Why are you going to show up when everyone's telling you no? And it goes back to me, and this is my why. I have 2 whys that keep me driven. These pictures are all over my house. These whys are written on my calendars. These whys are everywhere. These are why I show up every single day. I don't want to ever go back. Not the physical transformation. I have the tools for that. If I have a kid, whatever that comes. But I don't ever want to feel this way ever again. I don't want to feel like I don't have the energy to get out of bed and to keep up with my kids. I don't want to feel like I'm an 80-year-old lady trapped in a 30-year-old, 32-year-old's body. That's my why. I don't want to be. I was depressed. I was on medicine for depression and anxiety. I was on these things that I don't ever want to go back to. That keeps me going. The other part, as much as I love teaching, I never want to be forced to enter a classroom because I have to financially. I want to enter a classroom when my kids are grown and they're in school, and I want to go back into that classroom and I want to teach because it's my choice. I don't want to ever have to go in there because we're in debt and we've got to make ends meet. Okay. That's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me motivated when I don't want to show up and invite, when I don't want to work out in the morning, when I don't want to recognize someone, when I don't want to read personal development. That's what's going to root you in the hard times, is remembering why. And your why is going to change. Over 4 years, my why has changed. The root of it is still right here, but my why's change as I have grown as a coach and a leader. It's also going to take persistence. And I have these 3 pictures here. Like, these define persistence. I look at this little boy. Okay, this is when he first started to learn to walk. Like, you've all seen your babies walk, or baby, your nephew, whatever, walk, and they fall and they fall and they fall and they fall. But they don't whine. They don't complain. They stand back up, take another step, and usually fall back over. And they keep at it. They keep at it, and they keep going no matter how many times we're told no. No matter how many times we have to make excuses to not work out in the morning. You have to be persistent in this business. And you have to keep getting back up over and over and over again. This one I hear is my little boy playing soccer. He is number 4, and literally he is in the 4th percentile for his height. He's just this little boy, super frustrated playing soccer. He hated it. I made him do it one more season because I was like a soccer player growing up, and so you're gonna like it. And it got to the point, where he forgot he was the youngest, and he was last year was the top scorer on his team, and his persistence totally paid off. But had he not kept going, he would have never had that moment to be the number 1 goal scorer on his team last year, or last season. And he's overcome so many obstacles. He's failed so many hearing tests. He's had tubes. He's had a polyp in his ear. He's had all these things. And going into preschool last year, he's in kindergarten this year. Going to preschool last year, he didn't know his ABCs because he couldn't hear what an A was. He didn't know any of that. He was so behind. And again, now he's at the top of his kindergarten class reading chapter books in kindergarten, because he had persistence. And somewhere along the way as adults, we lose that. We lose that persistence. And because we all have, as a kid, we have that fighting, spirit about us that we are willing to do whatever it takes to learn to walk, to learn to read, to learn to score a goal. But somewhere along the line, we let failure define us, and we forget to be persistent. We forget to keep going no matter how hard it gets sometimes in the business. The other thing, it's going to take you showing up on social media. It's going to be you sharing your real, honest story. My story is not the same as yours, and that's okay. I am not the perfect coach for everyone. You're not the perfect coach for everyone. That's why there's a bunch of us, because someone's going to relate to you so much better than they'll ever relate to me. And that's okay. Let them be a part of your team. I understand that. Like if someone messages me and says, I'm sorry, like I signed up with so-and-so, great. Celebrate that success with them. They found that person to connect with. But you know what? Your story is going to be connectable to somebody else. Okay, when I talk about my miscarriages, some people like have never even had a kid. Like they don't want kids. So my story might not be relatable to somebody else. Me, being a size 18 and overcoming that isn't everyone's story. I will never understand what it's like to wake up every morning excited to work out. Never will understand that. But to other coaches, that's their drive. Like, how could people not be excited, right? That's why there's so many of us. My story, if you follow me, it's like, oh my gosh, I had to come over this excuse, and by noon I finally put my workout clothes on today because I didn't want to. That's relatable to some people. But other people, I'll never have a six pack. Like I love my M&Ms too much, and that's okay. That's my story. And, I'm not going to be the girl who wants a six pack and everything else that goes with it. Cause I don't have the tools for that. Sorry. Like I have a Nutella almost every night before I go to bed. So that's me, but I've been successful, guys. Like you got to do you, be unapologetically you, and just enjoy the journey. You don't have to be a tree hugger, nutrition expert to make this business work for you. I'm sure not, and I've made it work. You've got to share your story. And this is what some of my coaches like, I don't have a story. Like I've always been a size 5. I don't understand. Like how do I there's so much of your story. Look how much you've transformed. Being pregnant. Like I honestly, my business boomed when I was pregnant. People like think the opposite, like it's either you make it or break it when you're pregnant. And that's because you share your story. I shared that if working out was about getting skinny, you better believe I wouldn't be working out when I was pregnant, right? Like you've got to be again, just you. And you got to share that transformation constantly. Share other people's on your teams, your best friend. This is Breezy, my coach Breezy. Like this was us. This was us going through miscarriages galore together. We lived 3 houses down. No one knew about our miscarriage except our immediate family and us. And we wallowed in pity and ate brownies at midnight. Like that was our life. You look at us here at Super Saturday, she is 9 months pregnant, about ready to pop. And this is us. This is the difference. And sharing these stories becomes relatable. And it's not just you, but sharing, look at your, look at a challenger that, you've changed. Look at this size, this shape of girl. Look at this color girl. Look at this age girl, because when I was trying to lose weight, I'd flip through those infomercials, even the Beachbody ones. And in my head, because this is how bad of I don't want to say bad of a person, but I was in such a deep hole that I thought, that girl probably gained weight to get a before and after picture. Like her before is really probably her gaining weight on purpose. Like that's the kind of spot I was in. And there's people like that who think only the lucky will lose weight. Only the lucky, only the few will be able to do it because like me, they've tried everything else and failed. Because it just wasn't sustainable. So you've got to share your story now and through the end of the year. Share your friends, share your mental, your physical transformation. And the last thing I will tell you right now, if you don't see the resolution effect take place, a huge part, even if you hit Success Club, is you didn't duplicate it. You did not recruit. You did not add any coaches into your network in November and December. Because, and discount coaches are amazing. I have a ton of them. Okay. I'm someone who likes discount coaches. I know it's flip for everyone. I like them. But if I don't find builders and my entire organization is just my discount coaches, my income's not going to change. You've got to show other people how to do what you're doing. So when you look at your income, January, February, March, and you say, oh, Ashley was so wrong, like I didn't see any difference. Go look at your SC numbers and go look at your recruit numbers, October, November, and December. I promise you that if you don't see the resolution effect, SC was one, and your recruitment number was not good. Okay, you probably didn't recruit, and if you did, they were discount coaches. So really look back, like really take what you learned come, January, February, March, April. If you don't see the resolution effect, go back and see what you did October, November, and December. And so, because you've got to duplicate it. It's the only way your business is going to grow. I learned that the hard way. I hit Success Club, like I said, every single month, but my income wasn't amazing because I wasn't recruiting. I wasn't showing people how to do what I was doing. And as soon as I started showing people what I was doing, that's when my income went from 1,000 to 5,000 in 3 months. Okay, is that duplication. Last couple things. It's time to take action. I hope you have some kind of marketing plan. I hope you know what a marketing plan is. If you don't, go YouTube. Melanie Mitro is like the queen of marketing plans. She's someone that I like, adore. She's like the expert teacher, I think, when it comes to Beachbody coaching. And that's how I am. I like the teacherness in her. She has tons of videos on how to set your month up. At NLC, that's all she talked about, is how to set up her month. When I went to NLC a couple years ago. But for example, here's some of my marketing plans. I love doing a 21 days closer to Christ group for Christmas. So the month of, it's attainable. It's 21 days. We start and we finish. We actually finish Christmas Eve. I used to do like a couple days of preseason. Christmas Eve is, read the Christmas nativity story. Obviously, if you don't celebrate Christmas and you're not into Christ, that might not be yours, your marketing plan, but figure something out. That's something I do. And I do it according to the book. I do it this year. I'm actually just doing 21 days through like service. So one day they'll write a letter to someone they love. One day they'll find someone, out and, smile or whatever it is. They'll just be 21 acts of service leading up into Christmas Day. I will say, if you do that group, you're going to find your target audience for that is going to be the empty nesters. Those are the ones that are looking for something to hold on to over the holidays. And so take that into consideration. Refresh after Thanksgiving. Okay. Everyone's bloated. Everyone's feeling whoa the day after Thanksgiving, right? Like perfect time. It's 3 days to get it done. Drive your volume, something like that. Money for Christmas. Do a health bet. If people want, they can put in, you can do a side bet. I want to put in $10 and whoever, gets the pot of money. I don't like doing that by weight. I do it by like, did you work out today? Did you drink your Shakeology? Did you do the daily challenge? I don't do like weight loss because it's not fair for everyone who is there. And, eat your way through the holidays, do a free group where you show them that it's okay to have a slice of pie at Thanksgiving. It's a lifestyle. Explain that. They don't have to be perfect. They can have pumpkin pie Thanksgiving Day. It's not going to be the end of the world. Do a free group. 3-day refresh is a great way to drive your volume, and it's so attainable. When people see I lost 5 pounds over the holidays, now keep it off so come January 1st, they don't have to lose that 5 pounds again. Take double time, 80-day obsession. Use it to your advantage right now. And Carl Zeichler, if you're not on the Beachbody Champions page, I hope you are. There are so many things going on in that page to do with double time and 80-day obsession. And if you're not following that, you're missing out, and you're going to get left at the starting line because that one person remembered that Crystal was talking about 80-day obsession. They remember come January 1st, someone mentioned something about a whole year of Beachbody on demand. Okay, this is the time that you plant, you reap, you sow. And that's what's going to take place in your business. My last quote for you. There's one thing that 99% of failures and successful folks have in common. They all hate doing the same things. The difference is successful people do them anyway. And this is the quote that motivates me all the time. When I don't want to invite, I'm like, okay, the successful person's going to send out a couple invites. And so I make myself do it. Because that's going to be the difference is between me and someone who doesn't succeed in the businesses. I'm not going to skip my vitals. It's not going to happen. Okay. I can be, you know, if it skipped one day, there better be an emergency, but I've at least sent out 3 invites. I've connected with people. I've done my workout unless I'm sick, you know, whatever it is. That is something I've been super, super, super consistent about since day one of my business. And that's what my coach told me I had to do to be successful. And she wasn't lying. Those 4 things are the things you just have to do over and over and over and over again. So if you want a pay increase, if you want to see the resolution effect take place, you know, you can be an employee and make that 1% increase over your entire year, or you can give yourself that 104 in 3 months or that 266 in 3 months. The decision's completely, entirely up to you and what you do in November and December to finish the year out strong. So that's all I got, but I'm happy to answer any questions, you know, about this topic or anything else while I'm here.
Oh my goodness. I seriously needed this call myself. I was like, okay. I was being an employee. I was complaining to Adam. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like sending out all these freaking invites, right? And I am getting nothing. And he's like, Crystal, you know this. What you're doing now is setting you up for a couple months from now. And I'm like, you're so right. So I was being the employee, actually. But I changed my mindset and now I'm the entrepreneur. So, but I love that. And I seriously needed this call. And I know so many of these amazing ladies and men needed this call as well. Do you guys have any questions for Ashley? Any questions at all? But I love that, Ashley, because you started your business just a few months before I started mine. I started in April. And so in April, it will be my 4-year mark. But, you know, I have just done the exact same thing as you. You know, I just focused on those 4 vital behaviors and I made Success Club a non-negotiable thing every single month. And I look at your income and I'm like, oh, that's like we're like head and head with that. And it's just an incredible thing because hello, it works. And it's just doing those simple things, the 4 vital behaviors, but we have to be persistent at them. And so I just needed this. I'm probably going to re-listen to it tomorrow. So I appreciate you. And thank you so much for doing this call for us and taking the time away from your family. No questions for her, huh? None? All right. Everybody's.
If you think of any, just shoot me. I mean, you can always shoot me a message if someone has any.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much. You're a rock star.
You're welcome. Have a good night, guys.
Hey, we'll see ya. Bye.